Talk to me about immigration, MAGA. What are your concerns? What are the circumstances that you would allow and welcome immigrants into the United States? I mean, I've heard a lot of theories, but I've also seen a lot of hypocrisy around those, so I want to get it straight from you. Now, I know it isn't all immigrants, because you seem to be okay with Melania Trump and Elon Musk and even Ted Cruz, who are all immigrants. Yes, I'm aware that nobody likes Ted Cruz, but somebody keeps voting him in Texas. So I hear a lot that you don't want violent criminals in this country, but guess what? Neither do Democrats, despite what you might have heard. Seriously, nobody wants violent criminals. So if that were the only obstacle, we would be able to find some common ground by now. From there, I often hear, well, we don't want anyone here illegally. That automatically makes them a criminal. First of all, the guy who's been working in the kitchen in the Italian place around the corner for 10 years, that's not the guy they're talking about, is it? I mean, he may technically be undocumented, but he's not a gang member, he's not selling drugs, he's not really hurting anybody. In fact, he's law-abiding and hardworking, and he pays taxes into a system that he really doesn't get to benefit from. Is that really who you want to kick out? Shouldn't somebody like that have a path to being here legally or potentially even citizenship? Second, both Elon Musk and Melania Trump were here illegally at some point. I don't hear anybody chirping about how they should be kicked out of the country. What makes them exempt from the rules? Now, the whole why don't they come here legally argument is definitely an interesting one. On its face, I completely agree, but I think there's a couple factors in here that make it a little bit more nuanced. First, most people aren't eligible to come here legally. Unless you have immediate family that's already here as a citizen or a lawful permanent resident, an exceptional ability in a specific area like sports or science or arts, otherwise known as the Einstein visa, an in-demand skill like something in technology, and have somebody who's willing to sponsor you, a refugee claim, or a significant investment of capital in a U.S. business, you basically have no path to come here legally. So are you for giving people outside of these categories a path to come here legally? If so, great. Let's find a way to afford the people who want the American dream a way to actually do it and to properly vet them. If not, why not? And do you expect those people that have no legal path to just not come in at all? Because those are the people that sneak in. They have nothing to lose. They're not getting in any other way. But even beyond that, if you're a proponent of the come here legally philosophy, why aren't you upset about the way that the Trump administration is handling that? A report by the Cato Institute showed that a bunch of the Venezuelans who were deported to an El Salvadorian prison actually were here legally. They entered the United States with advanced government approval, they came in at the proper checkpoints, and they had no criminal record. They were here legally, and yet they were shipped off to a country that they're not even from, and were put into a prison with other violent criminals. Isn't that a problem? Or how about the 500,000 immigrants from 4 different countries who had their legal status stripped by Trump? They all had an American sponsor and were fully vetted. What's the benefit of kicking them out? I'm asking this because I want to understand why this doesn't bother you. If you are actually a proponent of allowing legal immigration, yet you do or say nothing and support this administration when they actually go and kick out legal immigrants, are you really for immigration? That part doesn't make sense to me. Also, are you for people being able to buy citizenship for $5 million? Is that the classification of immigrant that you want? Just wealthy people? I mean, I can see certain international wealthy businessmen coming here to become a citizen as a good thing. But it's also going to attract Middle Eastern royals and plutocrats and Russian oligarchs, neither of which I think we want. Aside from that, they would only be taxed on their U.S. earnings. So any of their businesses which are continuing to operate around the world would still be tax-free. Look, I get you don't want open borders where anybody can cross over, including violent criminals, gang members, and drug dealers. Again, nobody wants that. And if that was the only point of contention, we'd have already found a solution by now. But my ancestral tree has many people, going back many generations, who just hopped on a boat, showed up at Ellis Island, and were told, "Welcome to America." And I'm assuming that most of you have similar family histories. So I'm having a little trouble understanding how this administration's just sweeping immigration bans are okay with you. So MAGA, I'm reaching out to you to better understand what it is that you're looking for with immigration. How do we find common ground in between open borders and not allowing any immigrants unless they're super wealthy? let me know. I genuinely want to find a solution that I think everybody can live with.